Although humans see reality in color, for me, black and white has always been connected to the image's deeper truth, to its most hidden meaning. Peter Lindbergh stands as one of the most influential voices in modern fashion photography, a creator who quietly changed the way we see beauty and the people behind it. His work lets go of the polished shine and heavy retouching that fill so many magazines, choosing instead a raw, open way of looking at his subjects. In his black and white images, you feel a natural strength, a presence that seems to breathe through the frame. Each person appears not as an idea, but as themselves, real, confident, and unmistakably human. And his photographs aren't simply pictures. They unfold like small stories, shaped by light and shadow, by the lines of a composition, by the soft tension of a glance or a gesture. Through this quiet storytelling, he lifted fashion photography into something deeper, blending editorial work with the intimacy of portraiture and the emotion of cinema. His portraits, from models to actors to cultural icons, became known not for perfect surfaces, but for their honesty. He reminded us that beauty doesn't always follow familiar rules. It can live in truth, in the slight imperfections we usually hide, in the soul that rises behind a face. Because of this vision, his images still echo today, urging photographers and viewers to look beyond flawless glamour and search instead for something real, a kind of timeless truth waiting just behind the lens. Peter Lindbergh was born on November 23, 1944, in Leszno, in German-occupied Poland, and later grew up in the industrial city of Duisburg. Those wide beaches, the factories rising in the distance, and the quiet summers spent on the Dutch coast shaped the way he looked at the world from the very beginning. As a young man, he dressed shop windows, but his curiosity pushed him further. He moved to Lucerne, then Berlin, to study art. Before long, he realized he wanted to discover life in his own way. He hitchhiked to Arles, following the echo of Van Gogh, and then wandered through Spain and Morocco for 2 years, letting the road guide him. When he returned to Germany, he immersed himself in abstract and conceptual art, showing his work in an avant-garde gallery. Soon after, his path shifted completely toward photography in Düsseldorf. After assisting Hans Lux, he opened his own studio and became part of the Stern magazine circle, standing alongside the leading fashion photographers of that moment. Everything changed when he created the first U.S. Vogue cover under Anna Wintour, a bold outdoor portrait that broke away from the magazine's usual style. Not long after, he gathered a group of young models for British Vogue, a cover often seen as the spark that lit the rise of the supermodel. His images moved into music as well, inspiring George Michael's Freedom video and shaping the visual world of designers like Gianni Versace. He published several important books, among them 10 Women and the 2-volume Images of Women, works that became essential references in modern portrait photography. He photographed the Pirelli calendar 3 times, a first in its history, and created entire issues of Vogue Germany and Vogue Spain. His long friendship with Azzedine Alaïa led to a book that celebrated the designer's vision, perfectly aligned with Lindbergh's own love of simplicity and freedom. He also moved into film, directing documentaries such as Models, The Film, and Inner Voices, the the latter winning an award at the Toronto International Film Festival. He collaborated on experimental pieces that traveled through major festivals. And his influence reached music once again, through posters and album covers for artists like David Bowie, Tina Turner, Sheryl Crow, and Beyoncé. Peter Lindbergh passed away on September 3, 2019, in Paris at the age of 74. His funeral brought together many of the artists, actors, and models who had shared his journey, a quiet tribute to the lasting presence of his vision. Peter Lindbergh opened a door no one else had dared to touch. In a world hooked on shine and excess, he chose truth. He showed that fashion could be human, real, free of masks. With his clean, timeless images, he changed the way we look at beauty forever. His gaze was deeply human. He didn't photograph bodies. He photographed souls. He searched for gestures, for quiet moments, for the way someone breathes in front of the camera. He said a photographer's job was to free women, and everyone, from the fear of not being perfect. That's why he avoided heavy makeup, tricks, anything that could hide the person standing before him. He wanted faces alive and honest, stripped down to their truth. At a time when retouching was everywhere, he pressed pause. He reminded the world that age doesn't make anyone less interesting, that a person's story lives in their eyes, in their skin, in the way they hold themselves. For him, beauty wasn't something to hide. It was something to reveal. He was also one of the first to weave narrative into fashion photography. He never settled for a pretty picture. He wanted meaning. His series felt like scenes from a film, minimal, atmospheric, shaped by echoes of the German cinema he grew up with, by industrial landscapes, by dance, by cabaret, even by worlds that seemed to drift in from outer space. His work breathed movement and emotion, and a kind of intimacy you can't fake. That unmistakable style shaped campaigns for brands like Calvin Klein and Dior, who found in his vision a different way to speak to people, one that didn't try to overwhelm, but to connect. His images helped redefine fashion because they brought back something essential: authenticity. Maybe that's where Lindbergh's true power lies, in his courage to look without filters, to see women and the world as they really are. In an industry built on impossible fantasies, he chose truth. And that choice still echoes today, reminding us that the strongest thing in an image isn't perfection, but the honesty of someone willing to be seen.